is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be reacting to what a former NFL scout had to say about the Detroit Lions. So let's get it started. Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here, and before we get this thing started, obviously we have to go check out the board. We are going to be doing once again another question of the video. I did this in my last video as well, asking you guys, hey, what is your favorite movie of all time? I got some really cool answers in there. I like seeing that. I like seeing just, you know, something just different. I really like hearing everybody's different thoughts. Some really interesting movies, some movies I've never even heard of before, some old ones. I had a guy say a trilogy. What was it? The Lord of the Rings trilogy. I had a lot of different things. I'm still checking them out, still reading through those. So I decided let's do another question just for fun. And this one is, what is your favorite Detroit Lions moment ever? And actually, I think you would go for Detroit sports moment if you want to. Now, if you're not a Lions fan, you're watching this video, shout out to you because that's awesome. But then tell me your favorite sports moment in general from whatever your favorite team is. Now, let's get into today's video. There's a former NFL scout that worked with Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells. A guy that went from being just an NFL fan to an NFL scout. Look, his story is absolutely crazy. And if you guys do go check out this full podcast, which I would really say definitely go do it, I really recommend it. He goes into it a little bit. I guess he has a book of it on Amazon on how he became an NFL scout. But basically, he's just a normal NFL fan that loved sports. He loved football, loved the Washington Redskins, followed them like crazy. He was drawing a mock drafts, player breakdowns, doing tons of film study. Ever since he was like a little kid, like 12 years old, he was sending these into teams, to players. He had teams responding to him. It is absolutely crazy. And he ended up getting a job working in the NFL for a few years. So yes, he worked with guys like Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells. He said it was a crazy experience. The whole story is awesome. I mean, to literally go from an NFL fan to become an NFL scout is just incredible. So that alone, I think we deserve a little bit of round of applause. Now, let's talk about what he had to say about the Detroit Lions. So he's on this podcast for the NFC North. They got like different NFC North guys, and they had a little bit of a segment about the Detroit Lions. Now, I will throw in the audio clip. There is no picture or anything like that because it's a podcast, so I'll just throw in a random picture. But I will throw in the audio clip about what he had to say about the Detroit Lions. By the way, I haven't even said his name. His name is Daniel Kelly, okay? So you can look him up if you guys want to. Very incredible story. But he was asked a question from the Detroit Lions, I would say representative on this podcast, and he asked the question this: what is the one trait, what is the one thing the Detroit Lions might be missing? One thing that could help them take their game to the next level. And this is what he had to say about the Detroit Lions. We're going to break it down because he talked a little bit more than just that question.
Position, or maybe like one trait as a scout, like looking at the Lions, what is one thing that's really missing from this team that could help them push to the next level?
I think a big-time running back. I think for me, that's what I looked at. You know, I like Stafford a lot. You know, I thought the offensive line, I'm just looking through my report, the offensive line last year was average. You know, definitely could use an upgrade at the on the right side of the offensive line. I thought that, you know, looking at the defense, you know, I thought that who's that number 25, your safety there, I thought he was a below average player back there at free safety, Will Harris. I think that was a big problem back there for them.
Will Harris.
Yep. I thought he was a problem. You know, I didn't like him at all. They do some nice things. I personally thought the Lions last year, I love what Matt Patricia is doing there. I love the toughness. I love the discipline of the Detroit Lions. He's brought a lot of Bill Belichick to that program. I see it show up. It's a feeling I get. I got excited when I watched the Lions at times. I got excited when I watched their special teams. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Stafford can stay healthy. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Lions make some real noise this year in that division as a dark horse team. I just think there's a lot of good things they're doing in Detroit. I wouldn't be too down on the Lions if I were you, because I thought, wow, I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised in what I saw when I watched the Detroit Lions.
Awesome. Thank you for the optimism, because we don't get that enough from anyone, so not even me. And
restore the roar.
His initial answer to that question was this: a big-time running back. Now, he was scrolling through his notes and things like that, everything that he took down, but he said a big-time running back is something that he was looking for. Now, as we go through what he said, I think this is a report that he drew up before the draft. I think just based on what he said, or he just didn't really pay attention to the draft. But you'll understand why in a second. But I'm assuming he's talking about before the draft, and even if he's not, then maybe he thinks DeAndre Swift could be that guy. But he answers that question immediately with a big-time running back, and I'm thinking to myself, well, hold up. We just went out and got DeAndre Swift, so I guess if this guy knows what he's talking about, which he really sounds like he do, I mean, that's just absolutely crazy. The first thing that comes out of his mouth is a big-time running back. And what the Detroit Lions do, get a big-time running back, the second running back off of the board. That surprised me. I didn't think the Lions would go that route, and they pair him with Kerryon Johnson. That was the initial response that he gave with. By the way, he is not a Lions fan. He's a Redskins fan. The next thing that he said is this. He thinks the offensive line was average. Now, he's saying was average. I'm thinking he was talking about last season. He said the offensive line was average. He may be talking about going in this year, but he says he thinks they could use an upgrade at the right side. So if he is talking about last year, the Lions did do that this offseason. I mean, Graham Glasgow was gone, so you could say, you know, maybe we got a little bit worse there. We'll see what the rookies do, or maybe if Kenny Wiggins and all starts there. But at the right side, initially, to me, what popped in my head was Rick Wagner. I agree. We needed an upgrade from Rick Wagner. And what the Lions do, they went out and brought in Big V. Now, Big V may not be the most proven player, but to me, it's going to be an upgrade. Now, I don't know if he's talking post or before the draft or post or before free agency, but he did say the Lions could use an upgrade on the right side. And I think on either way you look at it, I can see where he's coming from because, you know, now you got some new pieces, some questionable pieces, don't necessarily know what you're going to get. And if you look at the Detroit Lions right side last year, Rick Wagner comes to mind initially, and I'm like, well, hey, the Lions upgraded there. So 2 for 2, that's great. Actually brought up Will Harris. Alright, this is one of the problems on defense that he said he had with the Lions defense was Will Harris. He said Will Harris played below average. He thinks it was a big problem for the Detroit Lions defensively. And let's just make it 3 for 3 because this offseason Detroit Lions brought in free safety Duron Harmon. He said he just wasn't that good back there, which I can agree with, but hey, I know what I'm talking about. Maybe I know a little bit what I'm talking about because I did make that video on Will Harris. You should go check it out because now it's perfect. I talked about in that Will Harris video that Will Harris could surprise some people in 2020 because I think he plays a different role for the Detroit Lions defense. Will Harris last year played the most free safety out of any other spot that he played. A lot of free safety for the Detroit Lions when he was on the field. Like I said in that video, now that we have Duron Harmon, who's going to be our next free safety, that closer in the back end that we just haven't had since a guy like Glover Quinn. He said his big problem with the Lions defense was Will Harris defensively. Now, Will Harris wasn't necessarily, I would say, a starter, but after you lose Quandre Diggs and Tavon Wilson is playing more in the box, you have a guy like Will Harris who's asked to play a lot of free safety, and that's not where he's comfortable. And in that video I made about Will Harris, I'm saying that now that Duron Harmon is our free safety, and you have Tracy Walker playing the strong safety role, and he can play both, you have a guy like Will Harris who I believe will play more in the box, and if you go watch him back at Boston College, that's where he played a lot, and that's where he thrived. Just go watch his highlights alone. You will see a lot of his highlights are big hits, tackles over the middle because he's playing down near the box. So boom, all of a sudden it looks like, hey, the Lions may have been fixing some of these problems that he's bringing up, and I don't know, I just thought that was kind of cool. I'm like, that's perfect timing. I just did a video on that, so that was pretty cool. And then he had something to say about Matt Patricia. Obviously he has something to say about Matt Patricia. Oh, I forgot this point. He also says he does like Matthew Stafford. He likes Matthew Stafford a lot, so okay. He also talked about Matt Patricia, and this is what he had to say about Matt Patricia. He said he loves what Matt Patricia is doing. He actually said he loves what Matt Patricia is doing, and he was excited to watch the Detroit Lions. He likes the toughness that they play with, everything like that. At times, he was excited watching the Detroit Lions last season. He likes what he's doing. He's bringing a lot of the Bill Belichick type of ways to Detroit, but he likes the toughness and how the Lions are practicing going about things. He likes that. And yes, it's definitely a different style than what we had before. I'm bought into Matt Patricia. I think Matt Patricia is going to get it done. Some people are, some people aren't. That's okay. But again, this is another person that is believing in Matt Patricia. Now, obviously, he worked with Bill Belichick, but from my knowledge, not Matt Patricia. So, with that being said, this is definitely probably a good sign for the Detroit Lions. He got an up-close personal look with a guy like Bill Belichick working with him, and now he's saying that he likes what Matt Patricia is doing in Detroit, and then he kind of left it with this. He said, I would not be surprised if the Detroit Lions could make some noise next season in the NFC North, and this is a team not be too down on. I would not be too down on the Detroit Lions. He said, restore the roar. I thought that was a perfect way to end it, man. He said, restore the roar. So he's saying, hey, don't be down on the Lions. They can shock some people. They can make some noise in the NFC North, and all the problems that he listed, if this was before the offseason, the Lions fixed, but even heading in 2020, I think the Lions fixed all of these problems that he even brought up. I mean, seriously, I love it. So I thought I would just bring this to you guys once again. I love the optimism. It's great stuff to hear, and hopefully it plays out like this, because we've heard a lot of people starting to kind of say, hey, don't sleep on the Lions, don't sleep on the Lions. And it's great to have people sleep on you for sure. So I know a lot of the NFL may be after a 3-win season. However, this is the year we can surprise some people. So hopefully we do. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Answer the question of the video, and now I'm out. Hey y'all, so I'm just editing this back. I just realized I didn't say thank you, Pat, for watching. What is wrong with me? That's my thing. I literally just said I'm out. What are we doing? Come on, man. I can't be cut corners like that. Thank you, Pi, for watching, and I'm out.